I want to kind of politely bully Kanye a little bit here in this video, and the title of the EP kind of prompted me to that. Hey everybody, Nightmare Kelp Street here, and I'm gonna get a little bit of the formalities out of the way kind of quickly here. My name is Danny. I make YouTube videos about music, particularly newer music usually, on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Should be on all the platforms in the same name. And if you're here, thank you for clicking this video. If you're a returning watcher, thank you so much. If you're a new viewer, I highly recommend you like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the video, and being informed about newer music, and I'll keep regular music updates. If you suggest something in the channel, I will eventually end up covering it. That is a promise for as long as I can keep that up. One day I might have to cut that off or restrict to just newer albums, but for now I'm able to cover all of them. So yeah, thank you so much for clicking this video, and I'll get the formalities all the way there. One more thing I wanted to say was that I'm gonna make a 1-year special for this channel being 1 year old now this month, as of March 2025. I'm surprised to have so many viewers over the first full year, so thank you so much. I didn't really expect to get a lot of love on these videos for a while, so it's nice to see already getting some love on them, so thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna make a 1-year subscriber special video, either covering all the rest of the albums I need to catch up on for viewer requested albums and projects and music and stuff like that, and just a passion project video I'm gonna make soon, as I'm covering all the albums by one particular artist, a very controversial artist. So I figured that will be one of my bigger videos I've ever had on the channel, possibly up to an hour long or more. So I'm reviewing through all their albums recently, from newest to oldest, and then I'm going to make a video kind of covering how I feel like they've only gotten more unhinged and insane and strange as their music has gone on and evolved over the years. So it would be a very interesting video to kind of listen from their weirder stuff back to their more normal, popular, accessible stuff at the very beginning of their career. I'm not gonna spoil who it is yet, though. I want you, if you're watching this video, I want you to guess what artist you think I'm talking about. Controversial rapper, and someone who recently has been in the news a lot. But today we're gonna be discussing a new EP project, quote unquote, music video thing that Kanye West has put out on his YouTube channel, Bully V1. I'm guessing it means version 1. This project, or I would say, I would claim this an EP because it's a very short project, if you call it that. It's only 18 to 20 minutes or so. Just came out within the last 24 hours. I'll kind of probably the thumbnail of this and the screenshot here I'll put up that it's currently #1 on trending on YouTube. So it's a surprise drop by Kanye, which is not unfamiliar from him. He's had projects before where he's like, I'm gonna put it out on this date, and then does it, and then surprise drops it later. So he's put out surprise projects before, but hearing no news about this and then getting something is I think a first. I'm pretty sure of like just getting a impromptu EP or album, and this was really good to me, honestly, for a impromptu just EP. Probably to me, as I'm kind of been returning to Vultures 2 and 1. I covered those on the channel. I've been wanting to give them a fair shot, and there's still a few songs I like on it. Whoever the viewer was that said that Sky City was one of their favorite songs on one of the Vultures albums, I agree now. I love that song. It's kind of grew on me within the past year. So you were correct. That's one of the few highlights of that album. But one of, I would say, out of Vultures 1 and 2, I think I only like 8 songs out of both albums. So there's still not a lot I'm gaining from them by re-listening them or going back to them, but skipping around, I kind of find my highlights, and there are some I bitched about in my review that now I like I Can't Lie, that part of the chorus is I'm just here to get paid. It's really catchy to me, and I love the outro part where he's like, Friday night, let's all get paid. It gets really funky at the end. I really like that. The message of the song still kind of burns me a little bit, because I'm like, it feels like you're talking about how you don't give a shit about your music, but it sounds good to me, so it meshes a little bit. But anyways, we're gonna go off about this EP, Bully V1. Maybe this will be a longer EP or album later in the year or next year. I hope so, because this is one of the best things put out in a while. But as the title of this video kind of suggests, I want to kind of politely bully Kanye a little bit here in this video, and the title of this EP kind of prompted me to that, because I'm like, where I just kind of stand, and this is probably gonna be a shorter video because I'm gonna get a bit of the rant out here pretty quickly. I don't have a lot to say about the top, because the songs don't have official titles yet. I don't even know if it's gonna be the official title of the album, so it's all very unofficial, very just kind of impromptu out there. But two things I'm gonna discuss in this video are, I feel like we should continue bullying Kanye about things he does and says, because even though he's been in the media and he always makes a media drive every time he drops something leading up, that's why I kind of figure something might come out soon. I think we should still hold him accountable for things he says and things he does about being anti-Jewish, and talking about, you know, just being really hateful online and being anti-Semitic, and at some points just being blatantly racist in some of the things he says and does. So I feel like we should still hold his feet to the fire and shouldn't just let him go, even though he releases like a good EP every once in a while. You know, like I know some people will say that Vultures 1 and 2 and Donda were good. I don't think they're good. I think he hasn't dropped a full-length great album since Life of Pablo, sue me. But that's the last time I feel like he dropped a good album. And that one was still a mess. The release process of the album was still a mess. And this one was probably the best track of like 8 to 10 songs I heard from him in a good while. Two things about the music video that tear me apart, though. I just finished kind of watching it this morning. I listened to the first run through of it, and then the video repeats all the songs a second time, and then the last 4 to 5 minutes is just like audio from the music video. And I'll put a few frames of the music video in the video here to kind of give my interpretations of the video. A lot of the video is a young black kid with it seems like a toy mallet or a fake mallet in a wrestling ring in a black and white scenario, while a lot of these wrestlers kind of come up from the stage. It starts with 1 for a while, and then it kind of amasses to mini, and then goes back down to 0, and then back to 1, as far as I remember. And all these wrestlers are kind of like feigning attacking on this kid, like they're like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and then the kid constantly kind of goes through and like kicks him in the nuts, and then beats him with the hammer and throws the hammer at them and shit. Like, pretty clearly, like, to me, the interpretation of this video, at least, is that Kanye sees himself as like this young, immature, childish kid, but with power, like the mallet gives him. And then the luchadors or the wrestlers in the ring are like people like, oh, they're all swarming me, they're coming at me, they're attacking me, like I feel like I'm getting got from all sides, but I still have the power, like I am still the one in control at the end of the day, and nobody can really harm me. And you know, with that interpretation, to me, I'm like, okay, and like how I come away from this music video is I'm like, the songs are really good, the music video takes a bit of stretching for me to get an interpretation or like a meaning out of it. Maybe it doesn't have a meaning, but as far as the interpretation I have is like what it means, I'm kind of like, yeah, we know you feel powerful, we know you feel big of yourself. Are you going to use that for growth? And it seems like through his music, at least, I feel like this is the best batch of songs we've heard from him in a while. But I'm not going to give him the credit here, because I'm like, you can't just come back with like a decent EP and act like it's all good. Like, it still isn't going to divorce from me that you're one of the most evil musicians out right now, to be saying this, like, to be on such a public stage and be saying such hateful shit about queer people, about minorities, about Jewish people. It's just really, like, I'm like, out of this one listen I had, and a bit of like a first 2 songs listening to for the video, I'm like, I just can't in good faith return to this, because I just feel so slimy about even liking it in the first place. So I really come across as like Kanye, in this EP at least, is one of my guilty pleasure listens, at least for the first listen, where I'm like, I'm not going to play this in public around my friends. I'm not going to play this in public around my family or my loved ones or things like that. I may listen to this again, like in the car later, while I'm driving between things, because it's a short listen. But I'm not returning to a lot of Kanye often anymore. And when I do, it has to be like highlights, like good ones. Like, if I think about recent good songs that Kanye's really put out, Paid is a funny, good, like, decent dance track to me. Come to Life is an actual really good song to me off of Donda. I feel like Fade, I listened to last night, is an actual good song to me from Life of Pablo. And that's about it. Like, all the songs on here were like passable because they're doing something new, because they're doing something different. I like Circles. It's one of the unofficial track titles off this EP. I like that song. I like the very first song on this music video kind of EP project. And then, you know, out of like ones I really loved, those are kind of only 2. So he's still kind of coming at me with things that I'm like, I'm not in love with, I just like, or I'm like, oh, it's a passable listen. There were no lyrics in this EP that really troubled me, which I like. It seems like a bit of a character growth and lyricism, but still not enough for me to be like, I'm going to give you a pass because you gave me something that was decent. And that's kind of what I have for this EP, you know, this little Bully V1 Kanye EP. It's strange to me that he picked to loop the whole EP twice over. So the music video was like 48 minutes or 50 minutes, but the music only ends at like 28, 30 minutes, like thinking even shorter than that. So it's strange to me that he picked to like loop it. It was a little weird to loop the whole EP again. I just ended up skipping through the second half, kind of seeing if anything visually happened different in the music video. Not really. that's kind of where I have at it. I just really want to cover this pretty quick after it came out because it was a surprise drop. Just like the J. Cole single that came out last year. Kind of wanted to spark it while the iron's hot because it's #1 on trending for YouTube. That one was the J. Cole song was #1 on trending for music. So to have it peak for YouTube in total was pretty crazy to me. It's just interesting to see that, you know, regardless of how we all feel about him, whether you're with him or against him on what he says and does, everybody's still tapping into when Kanye does something. So it's pretty crazy to learn, but it makes sense to me because even my morbid curiosity got the best of me of like I wanted to see like how this EP was going to come out. I thought it was a full album by the listing of the track list of the time on the music video, but it duped me there. But I got a decent 28 minutes out of it, so I'm like, you know, it's fine. I'm happy to see him lyrically grow a little bit, so that's kind of just where I'm at. Have you heard this yet? I know it just came out recently, but let me know if you want to go peek that and listen to it and then come back and comment. Let me know what you think about this little EP section. I'd recommend doing what I do is just cut it off after the first after the first like run through of all the songs. There should be a main comment in the top 3 or 4 comments that I use that help guide me through which songs were which. Because a lot of that does flow together. There's 2 or 3 that don't. It kind of just abrupt ends and then cuts the next song, which was weird to me. But I liked when they flowed together. I think that's a production quality aspect I really want to harness with my own music, is having my music flow together through a project or EP or an album. And let me know what you're listening to, what you're doing today, if you're enjoying the weather. I got a kind of busy shift to get back to, but I just really wanted to kind of pop in here for this impromptu video on something that I was surprised to see come out. But was pleasantly surprised by it, even if I don't still align with what Kanye says and does. This was a surprisingly good listen this year. So that's kind of where I leave it at, is that I don't know how much I'm going to be returning to this, but a pleasant way to open my day is seeing Kanye grow a little bit, you know? So yeah, hope you're doing great. Love you, Kelpies, and I'll be back at you with another one soon.